Have you ever thought that a simple piece of fruit, something you've enjoyed your whole life, could quietly raise your risk of a stroke while you sleep? It's a shocking truth, especially if you're over 60, when your body's ability to handle sugar, potassium, and acid changes, turning even healthy fruits into potential risks. As a brain doctor, I've seen this happen too often, not from junk food or smoking, but from everyday fruits eaten at the wrong time or in the wrong way. In this video, we'll walk through 6 common fruits that could be doing more harm than good, backed by real stories and practical science-based tips to protect your brain and heart. You need to watch until the end because these surprising insights could help you make small, life-saving changes to your diet, keeping you healthy and independent for years to come. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you liked this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's get started. Let's dive into a detailed exploration of a topic that might surprise you, the hidden risks of certain fruits for people over 60, particularly when it comes to stroke risk. These fruits, bananas, grapes, pineapple, and watermelon, are often seen as healthy, wholesome snacks. But for older adults, especially those with age-related health changes or on certain medications, these seemingly innocent foods can pose unexpected dangers. Below, I'll break down each fruit, explain the science behind the risks, share real-world examples, and offer practical advice to enjoy these fruits safely. Bananas, the sweet deceiver. Bananas are a beloved staple. Soft, sweet, and packed with nutrients like potassium, vitamin C, and fiber, they're easy to digest, making them a go-to snack for people of all ages. However, for those over 60, especially when eating overripe bananas, this fruit can become a hidden health hazard. Why are overripe bananas risky? As bananas ripen, their starches break down into simple sugars such as glucose and fructose. This is why a speckled, soft banana tastes much sweeter than a firm, green one. While this makes them more palatable, it also significantly increases their glycemic index, GI. The GI measures how quickly a food raises blood sugar levels, and overripe bananas score high, often in the 60 to 70 range, compared to green bananas, which are closer to 40 to 50. For older adults, this rapid blood sugar spike can be problematic. Aging bodies are less efficient at regulating blood sugar due to declining insulin sensitivity and slower kidney function. Additionally, bananas are rich in potassium, about 400 to 450 mgs per medium banana, which is generally beneficial for heart health, but can be overwhelming for aging kidneys, especially if they're already compromised. Excessive potassium can disrupt heart rhythm, a condition known as hyperkalemia, and contribute to blood pressure fluctuations. The risks in context. Sudden blood sugar spikes stress the cardiovascular system, particularly the delicate blood vessels in the brain. Over time, these spikes can cause inflammation and damage to the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, increasing the risk of clot formation. For seniors, who often have stiffer blood vessels and reduced vascular elasticity, this can set the stage for an ischemic stroke. A blockage in a blood vessel supplying the brain. Moreover, eating overripe bananas on an empty stomach amplifies these risks. Without other foods to slow digestion, the sugar and potassium hit the bloodstream quickly, potentially causing sharp blood pressure spikes or irregular heart rhythms, both of which are stroke risk factors. A real-life example. Consider Margaret, a 76-year-old retired librarian from Illinois. Margaret loved starting her day with 1 or 2 overripe bananas, often blended into a smoothie. She saw this as a healthy habit rich in nutrients and low in fat. However, one morning she woke up feeling dizzy and her speech was slurred. Her husband rushed her to the emergency room, where doctors diagnosed a mild ischemic stroke. Tests revealed elevated blood sugar and potassium levels, along with high blood pressure, likely exacerbated by her morning dehydration, a common issue in older adults who may not drink enough water overnight. While bananas weren't the sole cause of Margaret's stroke, doctors noted that the combination of high sugar and potassium from overripe bananas consumed on an empty stomach created a perfect storm for her cardiovascular system. After recovering, Margaret adjusted her habits. She switched to smaller, greener bananas, which have a lower GI and less potassium per serving. She also started pairing them with a protein source, like a small serving of Greek yogurt, and ensured she drank water first thing in the morning. Over time, her energy levels improved and her blood pressure stabilized. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Practical advice. Choose greener bananas. They have a lower glycemic index and less potassium, making them easier on your system. Pair with protein or fat. Eating bananas with almonds, peanut butter, or yogurt slows sugar absorption and reduces blood sugar spikes. Avoid eating on an empty stomach. This minimizes rapid sugar and potassium surges. Limit portion size. Stick to half or one small banana, especially if you have kidney issues or are on medications affecting potassium levels, e.g., ACE inhibitors or diuretics. Check with your doctor. If you have diabetes, hypertension, or kidney disease, consult your healthcare provider about safe banana consumption. Grapes. Tiny sugar bombs. Grapes are another fruit that seems harmless. Small, sweet, and refreshing, they're a favorite for snacking, tossing into salads, or sharing with grandkids. But for people over 60, grapes, especially the seedless, extra sweet varieties, can pose a surprising risk due to their high sugar content. Why are grapes risky? Grapes are packed with simple sugars, glucose, and fructose, delivering about 15 to 20 grams of sugar per cup, roughly 150 g. Their glycemic index ranges from 45 to 59, depending on the variety. But their glycemic load, a measure of how much a typical serving impacts blood sugar, can be significant when eaten in large quantities. For older adults, whose insulin response is often slower, eating a handful of grapes, especially on an empty stomach, can cause a rapid blood sugar spike. This spike does more than provide a quick energy boost. It stresses the cardiovascular system, particularly the brain's delicate blood vessels. Over time, repeated sugar spikes contribute to endothelial dysfunction, low-grade inflammation, and the formation of tiny clots. These clots may go unnoticed for years, but can eventually block a blood vessel in the brain, leading to a stroke or transient ischemic attack, TIA, often called a mini-stroke. The risks in context. As we age, our blood vessels become less flexible, and our bodies are less efficient at clearing excess sugar from the bloodstream. This makes seniors particularly vulnerable to the inflammatory effects of sugar spikes. Additionally, grapes are often eaten mindlessly in large quantities, a bowl while watching TV or reading, amplifying their impact. For those with prediabetes, diabetes, or hypertension, the risks are even higher. A real-life example. Evelyn Morris, a 79-year-old retired music teacher from Colorado, was sharp and independent, with a daily routine that included a mid-morning bowl of red seedless grapes. She'd often eat 2 cups, about 300 g, while reading or catching up on correspondence. One day, while writing a birthday card to her grandson, she noticed her hand trembling. Minutes later, she struggled to spell, "Congratulations." Her daughter rushed her to the hospital, where doctors diagnosed a TIA. Blood tests revealed elevated blood sugar, low-grade inflammation, and early prediabetic markers that Evelyn didn't know she had. Evelyn thought her grape habit was healthy, but the high sugar load consumed without balancing nutrients was silently stressing her cardiovascular system. After the scare, she made changes. She limited herself to a small handful of grapes, about 10 to 12 grapes, and paired them with a few almonds or a slice of cheese to slow sugar absorption. She also stopped eating grapes on an empty stomach and avoided them at night to maintain stable blood flow during sleep. Practical advice. Limit portion size. Stick to a small handful, 10 to 15 grapes, to keep sugar intake in check. Pair with protein or fat. Combine grapes with nuts, cheese, or yogurt to slow sugar absorption. Avoid eating on an empty stomach. This reduces the speed at which sugar enters the bloodstream. Skip grapes at night. Nighttime sugar spikes can disrupt stable blood flow during sleep, increasing stroke risk. Consult your doctor. If you're diabetic, pre-diabetic, or on blood pressure medications, ask about safe grape consumption. Pineapple. A tropical trap. Pineapple is a juicy tropical delight often enjoyed as a post-dinner treat. Its vibrant flavor and reputation as a digestionating fruit, thanks to the enzyme bromelain, make it a popular choice. However, for older adults, especially those on medications or with circulation issues, pineapple can pose unique risks that may contribute to stroke. Why is pineapple risky? Pineapple is high in sugar, about 16 grams per cup, and has a glycemic index of around 59 to 66, depending on ripeness. This means it can cause a rapid blood sugar spike, particularly when eaten in large amounts or late in the day when the body's metabolism slows. For seniors, these spikes can stress blood vessels, contributing to inflammation and clot formation, much like grapes. Additionally, pineapple contains bromelain, a natural enzyme that aids protein digestion, but can also act as a mild blood thinner. In small amounts, this is generally safe, but in larger quantities or when combined with blood-thinning medications, e.g., aspirin, warfarin, or clopidogrel, bromelain may increase the risk of excessive bleeding, including brain bleeds, a type of hemorrhagic stroke that's particularly dangerous. Finally, pineapple's high acidity, pH around 3.2 to 4.0, can trigger silent acid reflux in older adults, even without noticeable symptoms. During sleep, reflux can allow small amounts of stomach acid to enter the airway, reducing oxygen levels to the brain. This low oxygen state, known as hypoxia, is a known risk factor for early morning strokes, which are often more severe due to the brain's vulnerability during sleep. A real-life example. Clara Hughes, a 77-year-old retired choir director from North Carolina, prided herself on healthy eating. Instead of dessert, she'd enjoy a few slices of fresh pineapple after dinner. One morning, she woke up dizzy and unable to walk straight. Her daughter noticed slurred speech and rushed her to the hospital, where scans revealed a small posterior stroke affecting balance and memory. Tests showed elevated blood sugar, disrupted platelet function, and signs of reflux-induced oxygen drops during sleep. The combination of pineapple sugar, bromelain, and acidity consumed late in the day had created a cascade of risks. Clara adjusted her habits. She now eats pineapple earlier in the day in small portions, about half a cup, and avoids it if taking blood-thinning medications. She also ensures her last meal is at least 3 hours before bedtime to minimize reflux risk. Practical advice. Eat earlier in the day. Consume pineapple at lunch or as a mid-afternoon snack to allow your body to process the sugar and acid. Limit portion size. Stick to half a cup to minimize sugar and bromelain intake. Avoid with blood thinners. Check with your doctor if you're on medications like aspirin or warfarin, as bromelain may amplify their effects. Don't eat before bed. Allow at least 3 hours between pineapple consumption and sleep to reduce reflux risk. Monitor for reflux. If you have a history of acid reflux or GERD, consider avoiding pineapple or pairing it with alkaline foods like yogurt. Watermelon, the deceptive hydrator. Watermelon is a summer favorite. Light, juicy, and often touted as a hydrating snack due to its 90% water content. However, for older adults, watermelon's diuretic properties and high sugar load can make it a surprising stroke risk. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Why is watermelon risky? Despite its hydrating reputation, watermelon acts as a natural diuretic, increasing urine production. This can be problematic for seniors, many of whom are already on diuretic medications, e.g., furosemide or hydrochlorothiazide, for blood pressure or heart conditions. Excessive fluid loss can lead to dehydration, which thickens the blood and increases the risk of clot formation, a key factor in ischemic strokes. Additionally, watermelon is high in sugar, about 9 to 10 grams per cup, with a glycemic index of around 72, meaning it can cause rapid blood sugar spikes. For older adults with slower insulin responses, these spikes stress blood vessels, contributing to inflammation and clot risk. Dehydration from watermelon's diuretic effect can also raise blood pressure, further straining the cardiovascular system. The risks in context. Seniors are particularly vulnerable to dehydration due to reduced thirst perception and kidney function. When combined with watermelon's diuretic effect, especially in large quantities or on hot days, the body may lose more fluid than it gains, leading to a net dehydrating effect. This can thicken the blood, making it more prone to clotting, and increase stroke risk, particularly in those with existing cardiovascular issues. Practical advice. Limit portion size. Stick to 1 cup of watermelon to minimize sugar and diuretic effects. Stay hydrated. Drink water alongside watermelon to counter its diuretic properties. Avoid with diuretics. If you're on diuretic medications, consult your doctor about safe watermelon consumption. Eat earlier in the day. Consume watermelon during active hours, not before bed, to avoid nighttime dehydration. Pair with other foods. Combine with protein or fat to slow sugar absorption and reduce blood sugar spikes. Key takeaways. Fruits like bananas, grapes, pineapple, and watermelon are nutritious and delicious, but for people over 60, they can pose hidden risks if consumed carelessly. The combination of high sugar content, rapid blood sugar spikes, and other factors like potassium, bromelain, acidity, or diuretic effects can stress aging bodies, particularly the cardiovascular system. These stresses, whether from inflammation, clot formation, blood thinning, or dehydration, can quietly increase the risk of stroke, especially in those with diabetes, hypertension, or kidney issues. To enjoy these fruits safely, moderation is key. Stick to small portions and avoid eating on an empty stomach. Balance with other nutrients. Pair fruits with protein or fat to slow sugar absorption. Time it right. Eat fruits earlier in the day, not before bed, to minimize nighttime risks. Know your health status. Consult your doctor if you're on medications or have conditions like diabetes, hypertension, or kidney disease. By making these small adjustments, you can continue to enjoy these fruits while protecting your brain and heart health. If you're curious about other foods or have specific health concerns, let me know, and I can dig deeper. Consuming a large portion of watermelon in the evening, particularly after taking medications, can inadvertently set the stage for overnight dehydration, a condition where the body loses excessive fluids during sleep without obvious warning signs. Watermelon, often celebrated for its high water content, approximately 92% water, and refreshing taste, might seem like an ideal hydrating snack. However, its natural diuretic properties, driven by its significant water volume and high potassium content, about 170 mgs per cup, can stimulate increased urine production. This diuretic effect becomes particularly problematic when combined with medications like diuretics, commonly known as water pills, which are frequently prescribed for conditions such as hypertension or heart failure. These medications already promote fluid loss, and adding watermelon's diuretic action can amplify this effect, tipping the body into a state of dehydration. Dehydration has far-reaching consequences, especially in older adults. When the body loses too much fluid, blood volume decreases, causing the blood to thicken and become more viscous, akin to molasses or syrup. This thickened blood flows more slowly through the circulatory system, increasing the likelihood of clot formation, particularly in aging arteries that may already be narrowed by plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, or stiffened by age-related changes. During sleep, blood pressure naturally dips as part of the body's circadian rhythm, a phenomenon known as nocturnal dipping. This normal reduction in blood pressure, combined with dehydration-induced sluggish blood flow, creates a perfect storm for the formation of blood clots. These clots can obstruct blood flow to critical areas such as the brain, potentially triggering a silent ischemic stroke, a stroke caused by a clot blocking a blood vessel in the brain, often without immediate noticeable symptoms. To illustrate the real-world implications, consider the case of Mr. Howard Lynn, an 82-year-old retired postal worker from Indiana. Mr. Lynn was diligent about his health, maintaining a daily walking routine, avoiding sugary desserts, and prioritizing nutrient-rich foods. Each evening after dinner, he enjoyed 2 to 3 large slices of watermelon, viewing it as a healthy, hydrating treat to cool down and support his wellness goals. Unbeknownst to him, this habit, combined with his prescribed diuretic medication for hypertension, was silently disrupting his body's fluid balance. The watermelon's diuretic effect, compounded with his medication, caused excessive fluid loss overnight, leading to dehydration. One morning, Mr. Lynn woke up feeling unusually dizzy and disoriented. When he attempted to stand, his legs buckled and he collapsed. Rushed to the emergency room, he underwent a series of tests that revealed dangerously low blood pressure, elevated blood viscosity, and laboratory markers of dehydration such as high sodium levels and increased hematocrit, the proportion of red blood cells in the blood. A brain scan confirmed a small ischemic stroke, likely caused by a clot that formed during the night when his dehydrated, thickened blood flowed too slowly through narrowed cerebral arteries. Mr. Lynn was shocked to learn that watermelon, a fruit he considered a cornerstone of his healthy diet, had contributed to his condition by pulling water out of his system rather than replenishing it. The combination of watermelon's diuretic properties and his medication had pushed his body beyond its ability to maintain proper hydration. To prevent such risks, consider enjoying watermelon earlier in the day, ideally during breakfast or lunch, and in moderation, perhaps a single cup, about 150 g, rather than multiple large slices. If you're taking diuretic medications or other drugs that affect fluid balance, such as ACE inhibitors or beta blockers, consult your physician or pharmacist before making watermelon a regular part of your diet. To counteract its diuretic effects, pair watermelon with foods or beverages that help retain electrolytes, such as a sprinkle of sea salt on the fruit, a handful of salted nuts, or a small glass of coconut water, which provides potassium and magnesium to support fluid balance. Pay close attention to subtle signs of dehydration, such as a persistent dry mouth, morning dizziness, lightheadedness, difficulty maintaining balance upon waking, or even dark-colored urine. These symptoms may be your body's early warnings of fluid imbalance, signaling the need for immediate attention to hydration and dietary habits. While watermelon's risks may come as a surprise, another fruit, often hailed as a nutritional powerhouse, oranges, can pose equally significant dangers, particularly for seniors taking certain medications. Oranges, whether consumed as whole fruit, fresh squeezed juice, or even as a festive addition to a Christmas stocking, are rich in vitamin C, fiber, and antioxidants, making them a staple in many heart-healthy diets. However, they contain a lesser-known compound called furanocoumarin, which can profoundly disrupt the body's ability to metabolize a wide range of medications. Furanocoumarins, also found in grapefruit and Seville oranges, inhibit the cytochrome P453A4, CYP3A4, enzyme in the liver, a critical component of the body's drug metabolism pathway. This enzyme is responsible for breaking down approximately 50% of commonly prescribed medications, including statins, e.g., Advanced for cholesterol, calcium channel blockers, e.g., amlopine for blood pressure, and anticoagulants, e.g., Warin for blood clot prevention. When furanocoumarins inhibit CYP3A4, the liver's ability to process these medications is compromised, leading to one of two dangerous scenarios. Either the drug accumulates in the bloodstream, reaching potentially toxic levels, or it is cleared too quickly, reducing its effectiveness. For instance, a blood pressure medication that has been stable for years may suddenly become overly potent, causing hypotension, dangerously low blood pressure, and symptoms like dizziness, fainting, or confusion. Conversely, a statin could build up, leading to side effects such as myopathy, muscle inflammation, weakness, or cognitive impairment, often described as brain fog. 4. Blood thinners. Improper metabolism can destabilize clotting factors, increasing the risk of clot formation and consequently strokes or other cardiovascular events. A compelling example involves Mr. Elbert Bryant, a 79-year-old retired bus driver from Georgia. Mr. Bryant cherished his morning ritual of drinking fresh squeezed orange juice alongside his breakfast and his prescribed medications for heart disease and high cholesterol. He affectionately referred to the juice as his sunshine in a glass, unaware of its hidden impact on his health. Over several months, he began noticing troubling symptoms: persistent dizziness, lightheadedness when standing, orthostatic hypotension, and occasional morning confusion that left him feeling off. One day, while rising from his recliner, he collapsed, unable to maintain his balance. At the hospital, doctors discovered he had suffered a minor ischemic stroke. Blood tests revealed dangerously elevated levels of his heart and cholesterol medications despite his strict adherence to the prescribed doses. The furanocoumarins in his daily orange juice had inhibited his liver's ability to metabolize these drugs, leading to a toxic buildup in his bloodstream that destabilized his cardiovascular system. To minimize such risks, seniors taking medications metabolized by the CYP3A4 enzyme, such as statins, calcium channel blockers, or blood thinners, should limit or avoid orange juice and other citrus fruits high in furanocoumarins. If you crave citrus flavor, opt for safer alternatives like a small splash of lemon or lime in water, as these fruits contain negligible amounts of furanocoumarins and are less likely to interact with medications. Always consult your doctor or pharmacist to review potential interactions between your prescriptions and citrus fruits, especially if you're taking multiple medications, polypharmacy, which is common among older adults. At this stage of life, even a seemingly innocuous glass of orange juice can disrupt the delicate balance of your body systems, leading to serious health consequences. If oranges warrant caution, another beloved tropical fruit, mango, presents its own set of risks, particularly for individuals over 60 managing chronic conditions like hypertension, heart rhythm disorders, e.g., atrial fibrillation, or high cholesterol. Mangoes, with their soft, juicy flesh and naturally sweet flavor, feel like a wholesome, guilt-free treat, often marketed as a superfood packed with vitamins A, C, and fiber. However, mangoes are among the highest sugar fruits available, with a single cup, about 165 gram of ripe mango containing approximately 45 gram of natural sugar, comparable to or exceeding the sugar content of a glazed donut. In an aging body, where insulin sensitivity is often reduced and blood vessels are more fragile due to age-related changes or conditions like atherosclerosis, this significant sugar load can trigger rapid blood sugar spikes, leading to systemic inflammation, particularly in the arteries supplying the brain. This inflammation can cause microtears or microabrasions in the arterial walls, especially in vessels already compromised by plaque buildup or reduced elasticity. In response, the body activates its clotting mechanisms, forming blood clots to repair these damaged areas. While this repair process is typically protective in younger individuals with healthier vasculature, in seniors with narrowed or hardened arteries, these clots can easily obstruct blood flow, increasing the risk of an ischemic stroke. Additionally, mangoes contain a compound called mangiferin, a polyphenol with antioxidant properties that paradoxically can interfere with the liver's cytochrome P450 enzyme system, including CYP3A4 and other related enzymes. This interference disrupts the metabolism of many common medications, such as those for heart disease, cholesterol, or blood pressure, leading to either toxic accumulation or reduced efficacy of these drugs. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. The consequences of this interaction can be subtle at first, manifesting as vague symptoms like dizziness, weakness, or fatigue, but they can escalate to severe outcomes such as blood pressure instability, heart rhythm disturbances, or stroke. Additionally, mangoes contain a compound called mangiferin, a polyphenol with antioxidant properties that paradoxically can interfere with the liver's cytochrome P450 enzyme system, including CYP3A4 and other related enzymes. This interference disrupts the metabolism of many common medications, such as those for heart disease, cholesterol, or blood pressure, leading to either toxic accumulation or reduced efficacy of these drugs. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 3 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. The consequences of this interaction can be subtle at first, manifesting as vague symptoms like dizziness, weakness, or fatigue, but they can escalate to severe outcomes such as blood pressure instability, heart rhythm disturbances, or stroke. Consider the case of Mr. William Booker, an 83-year-old retired firefighter from Nevada. Determined to improve his diet, Mr. Booker replaced his afternoon cookies with dried mango slices, believing them to be a healthier, nutrient-dense alternative. He was also taking medications for atrial fibrillation and hypertension, carefully following his prescribed regimen. After several weeks of daily mango consumption, he began waking up lightheaded and unsteady. One morning, he collapsed while getting out of bed, and his wife noticed the left side of his face appeared droopy, a hallmark sign of a stroke. At the hospital, imaging confirmed a mild ischemic stroke, and blood tests revealed abnormally high levels of his medications despite no changes in his prescribed doses. The high sugar content and mangiferin in the dried mango had disrupted his liver's ability to process his medications, while the sugar spikes contributed to arterial inflammation, creating an environment ripe for clot formation. To enjoy mango safely, limit consumption to small portions, ideally a few bites, about 50 to 75 gram, and avoid eating it in the evening, especially in dried form, which is significantly more sugar concentrated. A single ounce of dried mango can contain 20 to 30 gram of sugar. Pair mango with protein or healthy fats, such as a handful of almonds or a slice of cheese, to slow sugar absorption and minimize blood sugar spikes. If you're taking medications for heart conditions, blood pressure, or cholesterol, consult your doctor before incorporating mango into your diet, particularly if you're on drugs metabolized by the cytochrome P450 system. Additionally, monitor for symptoms like morning lightheadedness, weakness, or changes in heart rhythm, as these may indicate underlying issues related to diet or medication interactions. In summary, seemingly healthy fruits like watermelon, oranges, and mangoes can pose unexpected risks for seniors, especially those on medications for cardiovascular or metabolic conditions. By understanding these risks and making informed choices, such as consuming these fruits in moderation, earlier in the day, and in consultation with healthcare providers, you can enjoy their flavors while safeguarding your health. Always remain vigilant for subtle signs of trouble, such as dizziness, confusion, or balance issues, and address them promptly to prevent serious complications like strokes. Thank you for watching this eye-opening journey through the surprising risks hidden in some of your favorite fruits. I hope this has shed light on how even healthy choices need a second look as we age, especially after 60, to protect your brain, heart, and independence. What have you learned today that surprised you the most? Maybe it's the hidden dangers of overripe bananas, the sugar spikes from grapes, or how pineapple's acid could affect you at night. Please share one thing you've learned and plan to put into practice in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Health 365, for more practical, science-backed tips to keep you thriving.